Hi y'all, welcome to my channel, welcome to a new video. ECCO2K, E, album review, let's talk about it. This is the debut album, long-awaited debut album from a Drain Gang member, ECCO2K, aka Zach. He's been dropping singles since 2013 and he recently dropped a collaborative album with Bladee and Thaiboy Digital called Trash Island. However, this is the second album that they've put together, the first being D&G back in 2017. It has been a while since Zach has been around in the scene of the sad boy movement and just the moody, atmospheric trap that has been coming out of Europe, mainly Sweden. Mainly a producer, kind of in the shadows, but he is becoming more of a prominent vocalist. And his contemporaries, I cannot get into them. I have had a past with Bladee's music, and we all know. Actually, I'll just summarize it to you. I do not care for Ice Dancer, the latest mixtape from Bladee. That's being charitable. I really dislike that album, the mixtape, whatever. I originally gave it a 19 out of 100, which in today's terms would be about a D-. So yeah, I don't care, and I can re-emphasize why I don't really appreciate or care or even understand Bladee's music. It's mainly because a lot of the songs on Ice Dancer were so one note, so monotone, very one-dimensional. They had no movement, no change. It was just this one flat note for this entire 3 minutes, and I just could not. So I had no interest about this album. I had no interest about what ECCO2K was doing. But I did enjoy Trash Island for what it was. I still thought there was some flaws here and there, but hey, it wasn't a terrible album. There were highlights like Western Union and a few others that are not coming to my mind. But again, I heard about this album, I was not interested in it, but I mean, I don't know, there was just so much hype about it, and there was a lot of people talking about it, and there was just so many people like, it's a good album, it's a good album, and every time I go into a good album, I get hit with just, wow, this sounds terrible. So the expectation going into this album was not all that good. I really wasn't expecting to enjoy this, even slightly. However, coming out of this album, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It doesn't even sound like a lot of what Zach's contemporaries are doing, because there's more layering on most of the songs on here. There's more textures. It's pretty dense, but it's not overwhelming. Or it's not so one-dimensional and so one-note that it gets boring after 30 seconds. Without a doubt, this is the best project that anyone in Drain Gang has put out so far. Not only because Zach's vocals are just dynamic, they have a range, but because the production is interesting, dynamic as well, and very well textured. There are a lot of these cold layers of synthesizers and ambience that permeate a lot of the tracks. A very atmospheric background that if you're only listening to it on the surface level, you will just vibe with. Because this is an album, at least on the surface, you can vibe with. You can put it in the background, and it's great background music. It kind of makes the atmosphere of the room lift up a little bit, if that makes sense. I can just imagine just people getting just high out of their mind listening to this album, and it just makes it a more enjoyable experience. However, if you're listening to it on the surface level, you're doing yourself a disservice, because diving deeper into the lyrics of this album, for the most part, they're very dark. Zach talks about drug use, mainly opiates, feeling isolated, feeling alienated, self-hatred, being attached to this drug. If you listen to the lyrics on a surface level, you will maybe get, oh, this feels like what it feels like to be on drugs. I guess if you analyze it a little bit further, I got out of it the feeling of a drug addict trying to get away from this drug, or at least away from the drug lifestyle, and they just keep getting reeled in and reeled in and reeled in. The album starts off with the track AAA POWERLINE, which is this very repetitious, very spacey, very atmospheric track that only repeats these 4 lines. Crushing rocks with Oyster card, so nauseous can't sleep it off, backseat of someone's car, zip tied up can't move my arms, repeated throughout the entirety of this track, 4 minutes long. There's a bridge to the song, but then it goes back to the chorus. However, it has such a good beat to it, and the beat of the track coincides with Zach's vocals and the way they're enunciated. There is a lot of production aspects to this track that make it very intriguing to go back to over and over and over again. It's just so enjoyable. The song Peroxide details Zach, or a person, trying to use this drug or trying to break up this drug at a bus stop. Again, a lot of what's on this album details drug usage, and I feel like it just doesn't go inside the mind of a drug user and what they feel on the drug. I feel like it goes inside the mind of that drug user and them wanting to escape the lifestyle that they're embroiled in. This is a line off of Fragile that really got me thinking. I can tell that something's broken. Stop, smell the roses. I see things in stop motion. Skin, bone, and sun lotion. I also like that vocal inflection that he does on the second skin tone like Diet Cola. I don't know why. It's just so nice. The track Calcium has a somewhat catchy chorus with the line Double K crystals kiss my nose. I don't know why, I just like saying that. He also details how he gets these drugs, mainly 25,000 on Silk Road. Silk Road being the black market service to buy drugs illegally. And while I wouldn't want to be in Zach's life or this person's lifestyle, it does give me an insight on how people with drug addictions or opiate addictions live and how they are constantly wanting to get out but they just cannot. It could be a serious thing in Sweden. It is a serious thing in the United States. Opioid crisis has ruined many lives and many families have been torn apart. I also have a family experience with opioids, so it's a serious thing that hits home just a little bit. The song Sugar and Diesel details someone that I believe's having an overdose. Also, this person is having an overdose. They recover from this overdose, and then they go back to doing drugs. The line, God plays tricks on me and I fall for it. Guess I'm sorry, it's my fault. I could have stopped whenever I wanted. Take what you want, I don't want this. A part of me became toxic. And the second verse of this track just details a person trying to get out of this addiction. A lot of what's on this album is enjoyable. It's spacey, it's atmospheric, it details someone being addicted to opiates. However, I would say in the second half, after the song Security, I think it kind of teeters off a little bit. The song Blue Eyes is probably my least favorite in the entire album because it just sounds stylistically different from everything on this album. Zach's talking about how his friends have blue eyes, and maybe that's a metaphor, I don't know. I don't get it. I guess multiple listens, it's not super terrible of a track, but again, it just doesn't fit stylistically in the entire album. Luckily, it's the last track, so I can live with that. But overall, wow. I really enjoyed this. I really dug a lot of what's on this. I like how it's consistent, it's thematic. A lot of the songs on here maybe inadvertently talk about addiction, drug usage, and being held hostage to this lifestyle that you just want to escape. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's how I look at this album, but it's a very enjoyable album. The atmospheres are there, it's well textured. The beats on a lot of the songs are very nice, somewhat hard-hitting, yet they kind of go in the background. I don't know. However it works, I'm fine with it, because if everyone in Drain Gang, if everyone can just drop albums like this, I would be happy with that. Because this is a nice album, or at least, you know, most of it is. I still have criticisms here and there. I wish sometimes maybe the vocals could be mixed a little bit higher. The song CC, the vocals on that track are just kind of weird. They're gated, reverbed, I believe. Again, not one of my favorites, but this entire album is just an experience front to back. Definitely something you need headphones for. It's slightly a cerebral experience. This is great. Don't sleep on this. This is a good album. Personally, I would give it a solid, very strong B+. It's very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. outro. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this album down below. Let me know what albums you want me to review next. And that is it. Leave a like, comment, share, do whatever you want. Let me know how I can improve future videos down below. And remember, this is only my opinion because music is subjective.